This is part 8 in the video episodes. Before we get started on today's build, I just want to send a very special thanks out to Bill Owen and all the hardworking people over at MNPC Tech and the YouTube channel MonsterMod. Bill contacted me about a week ago and asked me the permission to do a profile on this build over at his blog site, casemodblog.com. And of course I said yes. It was a truly honored build to be featured over there. The profile looks great, the site's amazing, so I really do appreciate the time it took for you guys to put that together. And I'd also want to send a very special thanks out to my subscribers here on YouTube. When I first started this project back in early September, I was a little naive about the video editing process. I didn't realize how long it would take to film, produce, and edit a 10-minute video on top of the build time. So I appreciate your patience, guys. Sit back, relax. Here's part 8. Alright, at this point I just want to start laying down some base color right over our pieces here. I'm going to use a mixture of my flat black, my Tamiya flat black here, and a little bit of my German gray also. This is just going to be our base coat. So I'm just going to load that into our airbrush, use a little bit of our thinner here, just to get the consistency of skim milk, and then we'll just start laying down our first coat. Alright, I got my color added, and I've already primed my brush, and ready to start laying down some base coat now. Alright, just with the light base coats laid down, I'm just going to go and start adding the darker colors right in between these panels here. Alright, we got our base color installed. You can see some of the darker color here in between the panels there. And we just laid it all over our generator tower also. And what we'll do right now, we'll just mix up a little bit of a little rust and a little bit of black and maybe a little bit of buff color, and start working in some like little rust areas, some grime, and some dirt areas right in those corners of all these panels right here. So let's go ahead and start doing that. Alright, I just went ahead and just printed out this Umbrella Corporation on some white office paper. I'm just going to use this as a stencil. I'm just going to cut out these letters, and then we're just going to attach this negative image right to the side of the panel here, and then we're just going to airbrush right over the top of that just to get our print of the Umbrella Corporation right on the side of our panel there. Right, I just want to make sure I'm using a real sharp blade when I cut this stencil out. I'm not too concerned if my lines are perfectly straight when we're finished cutting this out, because what we're going to do after we get this sprayed on there with our airbrush is we're just going to go right back over those lines and just age them up a bit and just scrape some of those lines off, do some dry brush technique over the top of it just to age it up a bit. So let's go ahead and get this Umbrella Corporation logo cut out. we just went ahead and finished up the paint job on the front of the panel here. What I want to move on to right now is just start constructing these doors right here. I'm going to use the drive bays out of an old DVD-ROM drive, and we're just going to attach them to the doors that we're going to create. And then we're just going to wire that to a little switch. And when we press that switch on the front of the case, those doors will just open and close. And behind those doors will be our hard drives. And say for whatever reason we just want to take a drive out, replace a drive for whatever reason, we just press that button, those doors will open and close, and we'll just pull those drives right on out. So let's go ahead and get started on constructing those doors. Alright, I just finished up the construction on these bay doors here, and I just want to think about the color scheme. We'll just start laying down some color with my airbrush here. A little bit later, what I was thinking about doing is using the old drive rails from a DVD-ROM drive and attaching it to this door here. And when we press the power button, the door will open and close. I got to see if I get enough movement first in those doors to even make that possible. But let's just go ahead and start working on the color scheme on this door and then get it installed, and then we can think about adding it to the DVD-ROM drive. Alright, I just taken apart this old DVD-ROM drive here, and I'm just going to use the drive rails out of here just to create a little motorized door. And we're just going to reassemble all this and rebuild this whole housing here so it'll fit right here on the side of the case. And then just rewire this switch here. I'll zoom in here a little bit and give you a little bit more detail about what we're going to do. Alright, now that I zoomed in a little bit, you can see the drive rails here on this old DVD-ROM drive. It's just going to be a really simple procedure of what we're going to do. We're just going to go ahead and rebuild all this area here. I'm not worried about too much about this circuitry, because the only thing that I'm worried about is the power switch, which is this line right here. It's just going to operate this part right here. I'm not worried about the read-write heads at all, so all that can come out, and we're just going to worry about this area right here. And that's just going to be attached right to the back of this housing here, which we're going to rebuild this whole area right here, because this is just much too large to fit on the side of the case. So I'm just going to cut down this area, rebuild this all with some plastic styrene, and then rewire this switch right here, and just make it a little bit longer. And then when we hit the power button, the door will open and close. Pretty simple procedure. Should be pretty easy, straightforward process to do. So let's go ahead and get that finished. Alright, we just finished up the paint job on the doors and got the doors installed. What I want to do right now is just go ahead and attach this to the side of my case and hook up all my power connections so I can show you the operation of the door, the LED lights, and the steam generator tower. So I just want to thank all you guys for tuning in these videos, rate and subscribing. Stay inspired, guys. Keep creating, and I'll see you on my next update.